Hi guys, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Rhianna.
And this week we're going to be reviewing a film that is out to watch now. It's Guillermo Del Toro's latest dark fantasy movie, Crimson Peak.
How do you manage this house?
It's a privilege we were born into, and one we can never relinquish.
Would you mind getting me a copy of the house keys, please? You don't need one. There are parts of the house that are unsafe. And these rotting walls. In the dark. There are secrets everywhere. Thomas! Has anyone died in this house? If you're here with me, give me a signal.
You might think that this looks like an out-and-out horror from the trailer, but actually it's more like a Gothic romance. So a young girl, Mia Wasikowska, is whisked away in this sort of whirlwind romance by the very charming Tom Hiddleston, taken back to his family home in England, and of course he has an evil sister because all Brits are evil. And then she sort of starts to realise that her kind of fantasy fairy tale ending isn't quite... It's more of an ending than a fairy tale.
Yeah, that's a really good synopsis because I wouldn't have been able to have given a synopsis to this film.
It's a really weird...
So
it doesn't know
confusing.
what it wants to be.
No.
That's what it is. And like you say, it's the director, Guillermo Del Toro, who... he's done some incredible films.
That's why I had such high
I
expectations
think
for this
everyone
film.
did. So Pans Labyrinth, for example. I mean, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
It looked stunning, and also the storyline was just heart-wrenching. And you were so invested in the characters, and it was so clever and imaginative. This feels like it's just
The complete opposite of that.
Well, yeah, it just feels like a bit of a mess.
I was really excited because I love horror.
Yeah, you love horror. I hate
do.
horror.
I love horror and I like to be scared.
See,
and
I was quite scared watching
Oh. You won't be scared. I'd say I had very little horror. I think every scary moment in the trailer is the only kind of thing that you see in the entire film. There's no sort of surprise elements to it.
That's true.
I don't think this film knows what it is. It's not a romance, it's not a thriller, it's not a horror, it's not a fantasy. But I will tell you one good thing about this movie.
Go on.
And I was very distracted by it in a good way, but probably because the film is so naff, is the set design and the costumes.
Yes, okay. Well, let's talk
Stunning.
about that because the film looks just
Yeah,
beautiful
it is.
from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the costumes are incredible. Mia Wasikowska's kind of beautiful dresses, and then you
Beautiful.
see Jessica Chastain kind of shrouded in a lot of kind of dark, crushed velvety silk type things, which worked really, really well. I think, hats off to the costume designer because she kind of had her work cut out.
Absolutely.
And everything, even the style of the film is just visually really exciting. Because
it has all the elements there, doesn't it?
Yes, because you've got the contrast of, I think the crimson in the title, the Crimson Peak, which is actually the mud, the red mud that the house is built on. Everything, it just looks like blood oozing out of the walls and the floor, and I thought that
bit's
was very clever.
Yeah, I agree.
And any kind of red is really picked up. But I think the fact that we can talk for so long about how the film looks is just really testament to the kind of shit content.
Absolutely.
She knows who I am and she wants me to leave.
Nonsense, my dear. You're not going anywhere. You had a bad dream. You were sleepwalking.
No. I'm afraid I shall go mad if I stay.
My darling, you're imagining things.
So for me, actually, it was all about Tom Hiddleston because despite like the really terrible script and the really terrible plot, I think he was actually made for this role. It seemed like it was written for him because he does that very charming, like aristocrat, upper middle class. But then in comparison, his sister, who is played by Jessica Chastain, who I think is one of the greatest actresses of our time. She was marvellous in The Martian and The Debt and Interstellar. She was awful in this film.
With her British accent.
She was trying to
seriously.
put on a British accent. I mean, I just didn't get... She just felt so painfully miscast to me.
was.
Do we have to do this? Must we?
Yes. You have no idea what they'd do. I would be taken from here. Locked away.
So out of 5, I'll probably give this 2.
Ooh, you've been a bit more generous than me.
1,
I'm afraid.
yeah.
Let us know know what you think about this movie. Maybe you totally disagree with us. Maybe you loved it. I'd actually be really interested to know if anyone did love this film. Keep in touch, and we'll see you next week.